question 7, for each of the following, find the axis intercepts, that means the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Then number 2, the axis of symmetry. So axis of symmetry, let's do a quick revision. So if let's say your graph is a minimum point graph, so axis of symmetry is this vertical line that passes through the minimum point. So this line, the dotted vertical line, is the axis of symmetry. So if you have a maximum point graph or a maximum graph, then the dotted line that passes through the maximum point is the axis of symmetry. So basically the idea is, if you have, let's say if you have PQ as the minimum point or PQ as the maximum point, so axis of symmetry is taking the x coordinate of the turning point, so which is x equal to P, x equal to P, x equal to P. Okay, so basically it is these 2 points, these 2 lines as the axis of symmetry. Turning point, of course, should not be a problem. Turning point, we have to do completing the square, then we sketch the graph. Okay, so let's start off with question A. Okay, question A, we have y equal to x squared minus 7x plus 6. So first, they want you to find the axis intercept. We start with x-intercept. Okay, so we let y equal to 0. So 0 equal to x squared minus 7x plus 6. So we can factorize this. X minus 6, x minus 1. Okay, so if you can factorize it, then no need to use quadratic's formula. So we can factorize. And again, how we factorize, it is like x times x squared. So you think of 2 numbers that multiply to get positive 6. And at the same time, you add that 2 number, you have to get negative 7. So I take negative 6 and negative 1. When I multiply them, I get positive 6. When I add them up, I get negative 7. Okay, so it works, and that's why the factor is x minus 6. Yeah, the first one. The second factor is x minus 1. The second one. So we continue. We take the first factor equal to 0. We get x equal to 6. This is the first x-intercept. Then we take x minus 1 equal to 0. We get x equal to 1. This is the second x-intercept. So we have 2 x-intercept now. Now we have to find the y-intercept. Y-intercept. So we let x equal to 0. So we have to substitute 0 here and here. Then we find the y. So y equal to 0 squared minus 7, 0 plus 6. So y equal to 6. This is the y-intercept. Okay, so we have the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Now this one is x-intercepts. Okay, so we have done part 1. Now part 2, they ask for axis of symmetry. So of course, if they ask axis of symmetry before turning point, so we can handle it in this way. So axis of symmetry is minus b over 2a. So we can use this formula to find out the axis of symmetry. So what is A, what is B, and what is C? So it is, of course, from this quadratic equation. A is 1, B is minus 7, C is 6. Okay, let's say I write down first. A is 1, B is minus 7, C is 6. Okay, then I substitute into the equation there, x equal to minus B over 2a. Then I get x equal to 7 over 2. This is the axis of symmetry. Okay, now we look at part 3, the turning point. So turning point is where we have to do completing the square. Okay, completing the square. So y equal to x squared minus 7x plus 6. So to do completing the square, we have to make sure in front of x squared there is no other number. If there is any number, factorize that. If there's no number, then you can start straight away. So where you focus on the b over here, the b is minus 7. So we have to put b over 2 square and minus b over 2 square afterwards. So x squared minus 7x, the second term. Then here we put b over 2 square, b over 2 square. So the b over 2 is negative 7 over 2, then minus negative 7 over 2 plus 6. Okay. Now again, let's simplify everything over there first. So we have y equal to x squared minus 7x. So the third term is minus 7 over 2 square. So that means minus 7 over 2 multiply with minus 7 over 2 again. So it's like minus 7 over 2 times minus 7 over 2. So imagine you have minus 7 times minus 7, you get positive 49. The bottom you have 2 times 2, you get 4. 49 over 4. So we have 49 over 4 minus 49 over 4 plus 6. Okay, so the first 3 term is going to be a perfect square, where if you factorize, you will get 2 same factors. Okay, so let's see. X times x, you get x squared. This one you do minus 7 over 2. Okay, let's say minus 7 over 2 times minus 7 over 2, you get 49 over 4. Now you cross multiply, minus 7 over 2x minus 7 over 2x, you add them up, you get minus 7x. So that is how we get the 2 same factors. So this is the first factor, this is the second factors, they are same. So we write it down as y equal to x minus 7 over 2 squared. Okay, so that is the first 3 terms. The first 3 terms, we change it to this already. The last 2 terms, we have to press calculator. We start from this negative sign, negative 49 over 4 plus 6. So we just press calculator and find it out. Negative 49 over 4 plus 6. Then I will get negative 25 over 4. Okay, so we get this, and we can find out the stationary point. So again, you have to look at the number in front of the bracket. If there is no number, that means it is 1. So a is 1 for our case here. A is 1. 1 is more than 0. So it is a happy phase graph, and that is a minimum point. So our minimum point, is hence, okay, look at this bracket. We let the bracket equal to 0. Okay, so imagine I let the bracket equal to 0. I get x equal to 7/2. So that's the x coordinate. The y coordinate, you can take everything at the back of the bracket, minus 25/4. So which is everything at the back of the bracket here. Okay, this will be the y coordinate. So with the x and the y coordinate, we get the minimum point as 7/2 minus 25/4. Okay, so we get the minimum point now. And let's see. Okay, so make sure the axis of symmetry, 7/2, is the same with the x coordinate of the minimum point. They are always same one. So this x coordinate is the same with the axis of symmetry. Okay, now we have to use our information to sketch the graph. So we have to, let's say I circle up first. I have to use the intercept. Okay, I just realized this is not spelled in that way. Intercept. Okay, then the second information that we need to use is the y-intercept, then the axis of symmetry, then the minimum point. Okay, now let's sketch the graph. So I sketch it here. So I start with the minimum point. 7/2 is 3.5, so it's positive value, so we go to the right. Then you have negative 25/4, which is negative 12 point something, no, negative 6 point something, so we have to go down. So it is around here. Now let's mark it down as the minimum point, 7/2, negative 25/4. Okay, so it's a minimum point, so meaning that the graph is going to be like this, and then the graph is going to be like this. So we have to look at where they cut the x-intercept. So they cut the x-intercept at positive value. Both of these are positive values, so we cannot make our graph too big until it cut at negative, so we can't. So we have to make our graph to be thinner a bit or narrower a bit, so that it cut at positive value and positive value, positive and positive. As you can see, 1 and 6, right? So both are positive value. Okay, so we have to make our graph to be like this, so that it cut the graph at positive value. And then here, okay, these two must be positive value to match with our result here, 1 and 6. Okay, so 1 and 6. The y-intercept you can see here, which is 6, so you have to put the 6 here, the y-intercept on the y-axis. Then the axis of symmetry we put like this, x equal to 7/2, right? We put it as a dotted line from the minimum point. Then we label it as x equal to 7/2. So this is how we handle the axis of symmetry. We draw a vertical line to represent that. So basically what is axis of symmetry is actually a vertical line that make left hand side and right hand side of the graph to be the same, okay? Or to be the reflection to each other, or to be symmetry, in other words. So we settle the first question. Okay, now let's look at B then. Okay, B, minus x squared minus x plus 12. Okay, so the second question. So as usual, we have to find out the intercept. So we start with x-intercept. X-intercept, we let y equal to 0. Then we have 0 equal to minus x squared minus x plus 12. So again, if I have a negative in the first term, normally I will change it to positive. So I shift everything to the left and it becomes positive. So I have x squared plus x minus 12 equal to 0. And after that, I have to factorize this. So I know I can factorize it straight away. X. Two numbers that multiply to get negative 12 will be 4 and minus 3. Because, when you multiply, you have to get negative 12. When you add them up, 4 and minus 3, when I add them up, I have to get positive 1. So that's why I managed to factorize in that way. And then, okay, now x equal to minus 4. Of course, what happened is I let the factors equal to 0. Let the factor x plus 4 equal to 0. X is minus 4. Let the factor equal to 0. X is 3. Okay, so we get the x-intercepts. X-intercepts, we have two values. Now the y-intercept. For y-intercept, we let x equal to 0. Okay, so you have to let x equal to 0 and you substitute it over here, and then you count it, then you get the y-intercept. Okay, so y equal to minus 0 squared minus 0 plus 12. So y equal to 12. So this is the y-intercept. Okay, so once you have the x-intercepts as well as the y-intercept, now we can continue with the second part, which is the axis of symmetry. So axis of symmetry is x equal to minus b over 2a. This is the formula. For our equation here, a is minus 1, b is minus 1, c is 12. So let's write down a minus 1, b minus 1, c is 12. Okay, so x is minus b over 2a. Then if you simplify this, you will get minus 1 over 2. Okay, so this is the axis of symmetry. Now we do part 3. Part 3 is the turning point. So we have to do completing the square. So again, you have to make sure there is no negative in front, there is no number in front of x squared. So in our case, you have a negative here, so we have to factorize the negative. Factorize the negative for the first two terms. So the first two terms change sign now. It becomes positive. The third term, I don't factorize, I just leave it like that. Now, we have to recognize the b. The b is 1. As there is no number there, that means 1. So I have to add b over 2 now. X squared plus x. Okay, now I have to put here b over 2 squared and minus b over 2 squared. Okay, so the b is 1. So 1 over 2 squared. 1 over 2 squared plus 12. Okay, then let's simplify it. X squared plus x plus. Okay, now we have the 1 over 2 squared. That is 1 over 2 times 1 over 2. That is 1 over 4. Okay, so we have 1 over 4. minus 1 over 4 plus 12. Now you have to know that the first three terms is where we can factorize it to the same factors. So we may consider it here, let's say. So x times x is x squared. So 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 is 1 over 4. Cross multiply 1 over 2x, 1 over 2x, add up, you get x. Okay, so make sure when you add up you get x, and it is the same as this one. So our factorization is working well. So this is the first factor, x plus half. The second factor is also x plus half. So combining them, x plus half square. So minus x plus half square minus 1 over 4 plus 12. Okay, now this negative sign out here, right, is given to the first bracket and the second fraction there. So it will be like this. The second fraction will change sign to positive. Okay, now we just need to add up the 1 over 4 and the 12 at the back. So we get 49 over 4. So x plus half square plus 49 over 4. Okay, so we have done completing the square, and then you have to see the values of a here. The a is minus 1, which is less than 0, is negative. Our graph is going to be a smiling face graph. A smiling face graph, and you have a maximum point. So to find the maximum point, we look at the bracket, this bracket. We let the bracket equal to 0. So x plus half equal to 0, x is minus half. Then we look at everything at the back of the bracket, which is 49 over 4. We take this, that will be the y. Y is 49 over 4. So together with the x and y, so which means this x coordinate and this y coordinate, they form the maximum point. Okay, so they form maximum point. Maximum point is minus 1 over 2 and 49 over 4. Okay, now again, you have to make sure the axis of symmetry just now, this one, axis of symmetry, negative half, is the same with the x coordinate of the maximum point. So they are same. So now we can sketch the graph. Okay, so we have, okay, let's circle up the answer first. We have the x-intercept. So we are going to use this in the graph. Then we have the y-intercept. Then we have the axis of symmetry.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we also have the maximum point.
Yep.
Okay. So we have 4 informations and all in the yellow circle. So we have to sketch the graph based on these 4 information. So we sketch it here. Yeah. I prefer to start from the maximum point. Okay, so which is this value, minus half and 49 over 4. So minus half means to the left, 49 over 4 go up, so somewhere here is our maximum point, minus half 49 over 4. So it's a maximum point. That means the graph should look like this. And we look at the x-intercept, we have minus 4 and 3. Yeah? So that means you cut the x-axis at here, minus 4. Then another one you have to cut here at 3. Okay, so our graph is hence like this and like that. Okay, -4 which is here, and then 3 which is here. Then these are the x-intercept. Now for the next value, the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 12. 12, okay, it's here. So this is 12 point something. Okay, 12 is here. That is reasonable. Then the axis of symmetry, we do it like this. We draw vertical dotted line. X equal to -12. Okay. Now this is y, x, and then this is 0. Okay. So this is the second one. Okay. Let's look at C. Y equal to -x squared plus 5x plus 14. Okay, so okay, now let's see how we can do it at a faster speed. Okay, so you want to do x-intercept, we let y equal to 0. Okay, let y equal to 0. Then we have this. Bring everything to the left. Then factorize. Then we have x equal to -2, x equal to 7 as the x-intercept. Then we let x equal to 0. Then we get y-intercept. Then followed by axis of symmetry, x equal to -b over 2a. So -5 over 2 -1. So which is 5 over 2. So this is the axis of symmetry. And then part 3, completing the square. Completing the square. You know, along the way when you look at this again and again, you have to do it faster and faster. Basically, that is the thing. So you factorize the negative. Yeah. So then, so that's why here I'm trying to let you see when we do it fast, how is the situation. So it's going to be like this: x squared minus 5x -5 over 2 squared minus 5 over 2 squared plus 14. Then we can just factorize the first 3 terms to x minus 5 over 2. Then minus 25 over 4. And now the negative is given to both. So minus x minus 5 over 2. This becomes positive. Okay, then we add up the last 2 terms. 25 over 4 plus 14, then we get 81 over 4. So we get, this is where a is negative, less than 0 is the maximum point. So the maximum point, we imagine we let the bracket equal to 0. So x minus 5 over 2 equal to 0, x equal to 5 over 2, and y equal to 81 over 4, everything at the back of the bracket. So we have maximum point 5 over 2 and 81 over 4. Okay. So then we double check again. We have to make sure our axis of symmetry 5 over 2, same with here 5 over 2. Okay. Must be the same value. And now we have x-intercept here, y-intercept here, axis of symmetry, and the maximum point. Okay, so we use all this information to sketch the graph. Okay, so I will sketch the graph here. So start from maximum point. So as you can see, 5 over 2 and 81 over 4. 5 over 2, 81 over 4, somewhere here. 5 over 2, 81 over 4. And it's a maximum graph, so you should expect the graph to be like this. And then the x-intercept -2 and 7 have to consider at the same time. So our graph, one part cut at the negative value, -2. Another one cut at positive value, which is 7. The y-intercept is 14, which is here. This is 14. Okay, then axis of symmetry,
Okay.
which is 5 over 2. Okay, then we label y, x, and 0.